Hello everyone, it's me again, Jon Glougie, Portfolio Manager at Luff Financial, IA Private Wealth. And I'm here today to talk to you about the new and exciting First Home Savings Account. I'm here today to not only tell you about what it is and how it works, but why it might make a lot of sense for you to use. All right, so first we're going to look at a quick agenda for today's video. And we're going to start by talking about the First Home Savings Account and describing what in fact it actually is. And in doing so, we're going to look at some of its similarities to the RRSP and some similarities to the tax-free savings account, because the First Home Savings Account is essentially going to give you the best of both of those worlds. And we're going to conclude today's video by talking generally just about a summary of the benefits that the First Home Savings Account will provide you. So first, let's talk about the FHSA and what it is, besides a mouthful of an acronym. The First Home Savings Account is a new tool that the government has introduced and launched for us Canadians to help us save for our first home. And what it allows you to do is save up to $8,000 a year into your First Home Savings Account with a lifetime maximum contribution limit of $40,000. What this account allows you to do is essentially combine the best from the RSP world and the best from the tax-free savings account world. Your contributions to the First Home Savings Account will be tax deductible. The withdrawals from the First Home Savings Account will be tax-free. And you can name a beneficiary should something happen to you while the account is still being used. So how is the First Home Savings Account like an RRSP? Well, let's talk about the contributions, because the First Home Savings Account gives you all of the benefits up front like an RRSP does. In other words, you can put $8,000 into your First Home Savings Account every year with a lifetime maximum contribution limit of $40,000, as I mentioned. When you contribute up to $8,000 a year into your First Home Savings Account, you can deduct your contributions off your income like you can with an RRSP. The best news is you don't even need RRSP room to make these contributions. So once you've made the contributions and you've deducted them from your income, much like an RRSP, this could result in a tax refund, which you can turn around and use to further increase your down payment savings. So how is your First Home Savings Account like a TFSA? Well, it gives you all of the benefits on the backside like a tax-free savings account does. Once the money is in the First Home Savings Account, it can be saved in cash if you're going to buy your home in the next few years, or invested if that goal is a little further into the future. All of the gains made on the money inside the First Home Savings Account will remain tax-free, like a tax-free savings account. When you pull this money out to buy your first home down the road, the withdrawals will be tax-free, like a tax-free savings account. And like a tax-free savings account, there is no obligation for you to put this money back into the First Home Savings Account once you've used it. In fact, how could you? At that point, you will have bought your first home and you no longer qualify as a first home buyer. So let's have a quick look at the summary of benefits from the First Home Savings Account. As I mentioned earlier, all of the contributions into the FHSA will be deducted from your income, which could result in a tax refund, but it will certainly result in less tax owing. Once the money has been contributed to the FHSA and invested, or even saved in interest-bearing cash, all of the gains, income, or growth from that investment will remain tax-free. And remember, you can put in $8,000 a year into your First Home Savings Account, up to $8,000 a year, with a lifetime maximum of $40,000. If you have missed or did not max out your First Home Savings Account contributions in any given year, as long as the account was open in the year you did not max it out, you are permitted to go back 1 year at a time to make up for any missed contribution room. One of the biggest benefits is that we now have a second tax deductible place to start saving our money for our down payment. We always had the RRSP First Time Home Buyers Plan. Now we have an added layer, the First Home Savings Account, allowing us to save even more money for a down payment. As we all know, we'll probably need it in this city. Once we get that money inside the first home savings account, remember, like a TFSA, all growth from that point moving forward is tax-free. So as an example, were you to contribute your $40,000 lifetime amount to the first home savings account, there's nothing stopping this account from growing even more, giving you an even larger down payment. And finally, much like the tax-free savings account, the first home savings account makes it sound like it needs to be just that, a savings account holding cash. But remember, you can hold any sort of investment inside the first home savings account that you could hold in your RRSP or your tax-free savings account. So if your goal to buy a home isn't for a few years, say 5 years or more, feel free to invest your contributions as you make them. So with the introduction of the first home savings account, Canadians have now 3 primary ways to save for their first home purchase. The first home savings account would be our first layer, and that allows you to contribute $8,000 a year, $40,000 lifetime maximum. The RRSP first time home buyers plan still allows you to borrow from yourself up to $35,000 from your RRSP to use as part of your down payment. And remember, if you have a spouse or partner, these numbers have effectively doubled. You can always use your tax-free savings account as well. I generally like the tax-free savings account as your third option because the first home savings account and the RRSP contributions into both of these accounts will generate tax refunds, which you can then use to contribute to your tax-free savings account. So now that we have all of these home savings options available to us, let's put pen to paper and get to work. If you are saving for your first home, you now know you have options. And if you want to know more about these options, always feel free to call us. That's what we're here for. Thanks for tuning in today, and we'll talk again real soon.